Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Henches, and this is an update for Beyond the Chart stock market update for October 30th, Wednesday, October 30th. Federal Reserve Day tomorrow. The Fed is concluding their two-day meeting, and they will be coming out with are they changing their position? Are they not changing their position? The market, I think, is expecting that there won't be any change in terms of their position, in terms of what they're doing with the stimulus. I'm not sure if Bernanke, I haven't checked. I don't know if Bernanke's having a news conference afterwards or not. Typically he does, like he did in September. So anyway, that's going on tomorrow. Let's take a look at the Dow Industrials here. The Dow closed at an all-time high. Now, we have been talking about this now for weeks about trying to get above this point. We did close at an all-time high. Now, our intraday, we did not exceed the intraday high on September 18th, which was 15,709. The high today was 15,683. So anyway, right now it looks like it's tracking, looks like it's pushing right on up. Let's see, I think the S&P 500 also pushed up and it closed at a new all-time high. The divergence I was seeing, it kind of broke through the trend line there on the RSI. DI plus versus DI minus is looking strong still at this point. I mean, it's no divergence showing up anyway on that. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's kind of been going sideways here. Now again, we haven't broken through this divergence on the RSI. And if you look at, if you look at the trading, it's kind of congested and basically it's kind of gone sideways over the last 4 or 5 days, really. I mean, we had this close here at 39.29 and today 39.52, so slightly higher. The New York Composite continues to push higher. This thing just has looked so solid all along, and who knows? I mean, maybe there's a good chance that this thing is going to reach this triangle objective after all. It'd be sure would be nice if it did. Now, let me go back to the Dow Industrials for a minute. If you'll notice, I've got these numbers on here, and this is like Elliott Wave counts. This is what I think has happened is we've had waves up from the bottom that we're counting. And if I look at from back in 2011 when it bottomed after the big crisis we had with Congress back then, we've had 1, 2, 3, and we think 4, and we think we're in the fifth move up, the third move up, the fifth wave. And if that's the case, then after that we're going to get a pretty good little correction. Now, I have a tendency to think it's going to be a bigger correction than what everybody thinks is coming, but we're just going to have to wait and see how it starts to act when we get up near the top here and start to, keep our antenna up for these types of, divergences and breakdowns and non-confirmations and that type of thing. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Take a look at the Shanghai Composite real quick. This is one of the more popular indices over in China. You can see how I thought it was going to go. It was kind of breaking the downtrend line here. It has not broken through this trend line here, and now has rolled over and has pulled back. Broke this upward trend line from June. So that's a little bit bearish for the Chinese market. We'll have to wait to see. I mean, does it roll over and do one of these all the way back down to bottom like it did in June or not? I mean, this is the world's second largest economy now, right behind us. Now, granted, they're not as big as us, but they are number 2. So we have to pay attention to what's going on in here. I want to take a look at I think I told you we talked about NQ Mobile. One thing I want to point out about NQ, and this is something I missed on NQ, and of course I'm not trading this anymore. Clearly this is not, it's off the radar down here at $11 a share, but this reversal bar here, it should be RD, not RB. That's a reversal down. okay? And then you get to close below that reversal bar. Now the thing, here's the parameters I like to look for on these reversal bars, okay? That they're at a 10-day high, and that they're near the Keltner channel, that's what I have plotted on here, the Keltner channels. There is divergence that's occurring, and we were getting divergence here both on the DI plus and on the RSI. And so we get the combination of those, and then I get a close below the low of that reversal bar. Now, what is the reversal bar? Again, I think I mentioned this the other day. This is where it closes in the lower 30% of the bar, okay? And it's a little bit of a narrow one in terms of the high to low for the day, but it definitely closed down. I mean, the low was 24.5, it closed to 24.62. And then look what happened. I mean, it just sold off and collapsed. Now, if you think that was unusual, Sohu did the same thing. Now, it wasn't right at the Keltner channel, but it was right up near there. It was a 10-day high. We did get the reversal down. We got the close below here, and then it collapsed. Okay? So now Baidu has done the same thing. Now, the weird thing, I don't have Baidu in here, but I noticed Baidu had some good earnings after the market. It's going to be real interesting to see whether all the buzz that happens after the market here in the evening, whether that holds to tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at Quahu. Quahu did the same thing, okay? We've got a reversal down right at the Keltner channel, closed near the low, got a close below there. Now, this is where I should have gone short right here at 89.34. Actually didn't do it till around 87.38. So it kind of hurt me a little bit in terms of the ability to, get the maximum positioning here. And so what I'm looking for is to stay until I get a close above a 2-day high, the high of the last 2 days. Okay, now that may happen tomorrow because I know this is trading up after market in sympathy with Baidu today. It's up 2. It's up at 86, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not that really holds or not. Now I may be getting out right there with that. Now the other thing I'm going to mention real quick about Quahu, and then we'll kind of wrap that up for the day. This is what I call, I like to look at Elliott Waves whenever the Elliott Waves are kind of clear, okay? You're not always going to see Elliott Waves. You're not always going to see, you kind of look for the low, the last really pivot low, and that's back in August. And this to me was fairly clear with one wave up, the wave 2 pullback, which was a zigzag, okay? And it was a 47% retrace of this move. Then you had wave 3 up, then you had a wave 4 pullback. Wave 4 usually is, these are the opposite, okay? This was a complex, more of a complex correction, corrected 41%. Then you had this big wave 5, okay? And this is what we call an extended wave 5. When we do our Fibonacci projections and all of that, and I'll get into that, we could tell whether or not this is extended based on those measurements. And I can tell you, visually, you can see that, I mean, this is an extended wave 5. So the really exciting thing about this is if this starts to roll over, at a minimum, it goes to the wave 2 of wave 5, okay? At a minimum, we're talking, this would be a 50% retracement of this entire move back to 45, and then possibly down all the way even to this wave 4. But and this move to way down here to this wave 2 usually happens very quickly. So that's what I'm on the alert for. That's what I'm looking to see if it'll happen. I mean, I could be taken right out of this position with a close above the last 2 days. We'll find out tomorrow, or tomorrow the next day. Hopefully it'll continue to roll over. It has broken some trend lines, broke this trend line, and it broke this trend line here. So it's had a heck of a move. I mean, it's gone from 13 all the way up to 96.74. So we'll see. All right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll talk to you on Thursday. Take care.